Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Fall in the Garden. Today is September the 7th, 2025, and it is kind of a day of reckoning for me. This is going to be a really honest, vulnerable, raw, unfiltered look at the state of the garden at the end of the season. I had a lot of dreams for this year, for revitalizing raised beds that were falling apart. I bought, I invested in soil, I invested in compost, I invested in some new metal raised beds that never got put together because about a month into the growing season, in trying to move some of the topsoil that I got an injury to my rotator cuff that really took me down and out for the rest of the season in terms of the heavy lifting. Now fortunately the plants were already in and they continue to grow, and I've made a couple videos earlier in the summer about how that went along, but I wasn't able to keep up clearly with the weeding. Here's the site of one of my raised beds that I was going to replace. I have the bed, it's still in my house, it is still in the box, and it will probably go in the basement. But at the end of the day, I still did get food out here. A watermelon grew over into this bed. I've harvested actually some of the cherry tomatoes that grew as volunteers in here were way sweeter and tastier than some of the ones that I grew on purpose that are right across the walkway. But yeah, so listen, I called this channel Growth Opportunities because I truly believe that everything that happens in our lives is an opportunity for growth if we allow it to be. I believe that we can see things as challenges, we can see things as hardship, we can see things as being unfair, and let's be real, sometimes they are, but they're also opportunities, and that's where grace comes in. So right now I feel like God is really putting on my heart that I need to give myself the grace to admit that this garden was really a learning ground. It was a classroom. I learned how to start seeds. I learned how to nurture them in the house all through the winter, get them ready to be put out to harden off in the spring. I learned how to harden them off. I learned how to plant them, where to plant them, how to keep the soil healthy around them, and produce food. And just because that food was not really a welcome staple in my own home doesn't mean that it won't be welcome somewhere else. And all those skills that I have, those are good things, and they can be used. They can still be used for kingdom work. They can be used in service to someone else. They can be used, I don't even know how it can be used at this point. I just know that it can be. And my job is to really take good stock of the surroundings that I'm in and admit that it's probably not this. So my goal this year in cleaning up my garden is going to be really focusing on, instead of preparing, obviously I'm not preparing for a fall garden. I'm way too late for that. It's already early September. But I will harvest the rest of the food that's out here. I will give away as much as I can. I will eat what I can. And I will prepare these beds for rest. Maybe make flower beds out of them. I don't know. Continue to grow onions, continue to grow garlic, continue to grow some herbs, because those things my family does welcome. Continue to grow my basil for basil tea. And be happy and grateful for the things that I'm able to do out here. So anyway, those are my musings at the end of September in an overgrown and honestly still lovely and producing garden, even with all the disease and the pests. It still has my heart. But I'm really invested in turning my waiting room into a classroom and figuring out where it is that I'm going to be able to use the knowledge that I've gained down the line. And if I keep focusing on beating my head against the wall to get my family to eat my fresh food instead of ordering DoorDash when I am living in a development that is surrounded by fast food and restaurants, it's just going to make me bitter, and I don't want to be bitter. I want to be better. I know that's cliche, but that's my growth opportunity for today, and I hope someone can benefit from it. Thank you.